Before we start, just a few disclaimers. This video will only be a combo guide. Nothing about fundamentals, optimal punishes, keys and other specifics, those kind of stuff. We're just gonna have fun doing combos. I'm also not gonna claim that this is something I invented. There are several other Lidia players in the world who also might have been doing the same things already, so I'm not taking any credit for this. Just pointing out that these are things I figured out on my own, for myself, and a part of her game plan that I believe is worth sharing. I won't be covering 100% of her combo scenarios, because my main intention is to let you know the thought process behind the things that I do. You'll eventually get it by the end of this video. Now that we got that out of the way, let's first cover her combos in the open, starting with her most basic launcher, her hop kick. This is standard stuff that I also use most of the time, but in some instances when heat is available, I tend to pop a heat burst and squeeze in 1 or 2 jabs before doing Blossom. And if the opponent is a character that can be hit with a DF4-3 post heat burst, I do this. I made a list of which characters we can hit this with from a past video. Feel free to check that out. My combo revision is mainly for the extra wall carry. I do the same approach for combos that start with an instant tornado or a low parry. These are the standard combos. And this is if I want to use heat. Next, let's get to her actual launchers, the ones that send opponents upward. Specifically her while standing 2, forward 3, and delayed hop kick. Now, I still use this BNB from time to time, but in most cases this is what I go for. This route does not work from her delayed hop kick, or by the least, it's inconsistent. So from that launcher, I do this instead. You might be wondering now why the constant use of Dash Blossom. I have 2 reasons. First, just like from the hop kick combo, I do it for wall travel. At first glance, the difference might not be that big, but it becomes apparent once we realize that there are wall distances that the BNB can't reach, but Dash Blossom combos can. Second reason, I just simply want to get accustomed to its execution. Her Dash Blossom is an important part of my combo playstyle, which you'll see more of later. If I want to use heat, I do this. Take note of the sidestep right. Without it, the QCF 1+2 would whiff. But I normally just do this when I'm at Heaven and Earth level 2 or above. Because if it's just level 1, we only get to enter the stance once and the whole heat meter gets used. I really don't want to spend the rest of my heat just for one combo, except of course if it's round ending. Now, if there's no heat left but Heaven and Earth is at level 3, I do the same combos except that I change the Ender to forward forward 4-3. Basically taking advantage of its Season 2 buff. Moving along with her last type of launcher, the ones that do a crumple step. We're talking about her 3-2, DF4-3, the second hit of back 2-3, and DF1-3 on counter hit, so on and so forth. This is technically not max damage, because we can actually do this. But the timing of down back 2 differs in each opponent, making it inconsistent and sometimes miss, which is why I normally do the forward. Oh, and this also works from a counter hit cap 4. If I want to use heat, this is what I do. Notice that I do the dash version of Red Poppy by doing quarter circle forward, forward 1+2. But if against a character that can hit a DF4-3 after heat burst, I do this. It's also a route that can be similarly used to her Heaven and Earth 1. You just change the Wolf 2 to DF4-3 and just do the rest of the combo. For Heaven and Earth 1, heat will most likely be already active, so a heat burst is no longer possible. We can just do this. And of course, if no heat can be used, then Heaven and Earth is at level 3, just change the Ender to forward forward 4-3. Alright, that's it for the first half. Now let's get to the other fun part, her combos that lead to walls. Let us first outline the basic combo structure in the game. First is the launcher, then the combo fillers, the tornado move, followed by more fillers. In this case, anything that follows after the tornado is most of the time referred to as her wall carry. Lastly, assuming that the opponent did hit the wall combo. Depending on how close we are to the wall, we need to adjust our wall carry. Notice that we previously did Birds and Beasts as a 3-hit wall carry, but we then changed it to back 3-1, which is only a 2-hit strength. And this changes the shorter the distance, up to the point where a wall carry is no longer necessary and a wall combo is already available after the tornado. So that's the standard way. But here's something the game doesn't teach you. You get the most out of your combo damage when you save your tornado up until you get to the wall. So how do we do that with Lidia? For starters, if you think it will reach the wall after forward forward 2 force 2, you can go straight to Blossom. If it's farther, you can squeeze in a jab, then do Dash Blossom. This will need good stage awareness to recognize the number of hits you need to do first before shooting them at the wall. Here's the staple I use when going for a wall carry while saving the tornado. One can argue that birds and beasts can do the same job. However, it whiffs from combo routes that require multiple jabs. If you're also thinking that this can be done much easier by using a heat burst, the problem with that is the succeeding hits will be too scaled to the point that the damage is almost the same as the BNB. Now you know why I make Dash Blossom a regular part of your combo kit. Besides, speaking of heat, Lidia has a much better use for that in walls this season. As you know by now, her 1+2 when heat is active causes a resplat. So after taking the opponent to the wall, she can do this. There's just one caveat. If we are to use Blossom Fury as the wall carry, the 1+2 after heat burst tends to miss. The way to work around this, I found out, is that we need to sidestep left first before the heat burst. Good news is, the step doesn't have to be that big. Bad news, in a real match, there will always be a time when your combo route won't give you enough room for a sidestep left. So my rule of thumb, after a Blossom wall carry, I will only go for the 1+2 resplat if I can sidestep left prior to the heat burst, even for just a few frames. Otherwise, I'll just ignore it and just continue with my wall combo. Now, resplatting at Heaven and Earth level 3 is not a problem. Instead of 1+2, we use forward 3 instead. This doesn't have the kinks that 1+2 has and will always resplat regardless. But if there's anything we need to be mindful of, as much as possible, try doing it before the heat burst. We get more damage that way because it won't be scaled. But if it can't be helped, using heat burst first still works. And lastly, I want to talk about the wall combo itself. If Heaven and Earth is only level 1, I go for Blossom. But if her Heaven and Earth is level 2 above, I almost always go for the Heaven and Earth 1 to down 1+2 ender. Also remember to time hitting the Heaven and Earth 1 at the lowest possible slump to lessen the scaling. So the main idea here, if you land a launcher, try to check from that split second if your combo can reach the wall without the use of Tornado. If not, just go for the combo she usually does in the open. Now, I'm just gonna point out the obvious. This combo playstyle comes with certain risks. It requires execution, so it has a higher likelihood of being dropped. Another thing is, it requires good stage awareness, so if you misjudge your wall distance and decide to do a tornado-less combo and did not manage to get through the wall, that is a lot of wasted damage potential. That's pretty much all I have. Let me just add a little montage here just so the clips that I saved are still used. If you want a summarized version of what I discussed, feel free to check the link to a flowchart I put in this video's description. I find Lidia's combos to be very fun. I get a certain high whenever I land these things, and it's something I want you guys to experience as well. Sincerely hoping you picked up at least a thing or two, and as always, thank you for watching.